G'day folks, it's Cortezerino. Today I'm going to show you how to build my super simple 1.14 villager trading hall. Now there are three reasons why this design is super duper good. The first one is it is also a villager breeder. You do not need to breed your villagers at a separate location. The second reason is we are able to do the trick where you can break the villager's workstation and then they turn into a normal villager. They forget what trade they had, and when you replace their workstation, they have a whole new different first trade. So we can keep doing that until we find a first trade that we really like. And the third reason why this design is super cool is because we use villager AI to get it to work, which means if you make a mistake when you are breaking their workstations and suddenly your villager in this cell gets linked up to a workstation in a separate cell, that is no problem. We just release them and they walk over to their other workstation and we can trap them again. It is super simple. And honestly guys, this thing is pretty tiny and the materials you need are very, very easy to get early game. We've just got a bunch of pistons and a bunch of flower pots. I've got redstone lamps here, so you would have to go to the nether to get them, but you don't actually need redstone lamps. I just think it's pretty. It tells me when I've flicked the lever and have a villager trapped in there, it just lights up, but you don't really need redstone lamps. There is nothing to this design at all. And you could build it a little bit bigger than I've got here, but you just got to be mindful that because we're using the villager AI, the villager needs to be able to see the workstation from this little breeding pen here. So if you make it too long, then the villager is going to have trouble spotting it. So let me show you how this works. So in here we have 5 farmers. You could have fewer farmers than this, or you could have more. And these are just guys that we can trade with, but they're also the guys that we feed when we want to breed up some villagers. And right behind them here, we've got a bunch of beds. So as we want to add more villagers to our trading hall, we have to add more beds. So 1 bed for each villager in the trading hall, including the farmers. Although just be mindful when you're breeding them. Even though I've got 9 beds here, if I throw these guys too much food in the craziness of breeding, they will go well over 9. So we always want to keep the beds pretty low when we're breeding. So first thing you want to do is throw these guys some food. Now you won't be able to throw the food through the gap of the fences, but if you throw it at the bottom there, when they wander to the front, they will pick it up through the fence. Or you could just come in the gate here and go in there yourself and feed them this way. And it's also good if you think you've thrown them too much food and they're going to breed up too many babies, you can just AFK in here and any food they're throwing around, extra food, they will give to you. So now what we want to do is just wait, breed up a few babies, not too many guys, we just want to do a few at a time, 4 or 5 at a time, because the more you have, the harder, the easier it is to make a mistake. Okay, so we've done the waiting game. We've bred up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra villagers, and we've waited until they've all grown up to adults. And because we've only got 9 beds up the back, we know they're not going to breed any more than this now that they've all grown up. So it's not the end of the world if a baby villager gets into this section, but it does get very messy. So now that they're all adults, we can open up this section so they're able to pathfind, and we want to start replacing these pieces of dirt with workstations. Now be very careful, you want to have exactly 1 workstation for each villager without a trade. And you can see the magic is happening. They have all picked their workstations and they will sort themselves. Is he in there yet? Not quite. Now he is. They will sort themselves into the correct positions, and once they're there, you can extend the piston and lock them in place, and you know that they are at their correct workstation. So if this guy here started jostling with one of these fellas saying, "Oi, get out of the way," maybe is going on here, we could just release this guy and they would sort themselves out. No, it does look like that was the correct position. So it is as easy as that, guys. And now we can go up, have a look at their trades, Ooh, that's actually pretty good. I would keep that one. So what you want to do if you want to keep it You want to trade with him straight away and lock this trade completely, because if a villager can't pathfind, then it will just think that it can't get a workstation, so it will lose this trade. Now we're getting around this by using the flower pot. See, the villager's trapped in there, but he thinks he can still pathfind out, so he's remaining with that trade. But if you leave him there, there is a small possibility that for a split second he will think he can't move and he will lose this trade completely. So if we want to keep that, trade with him straight away. Now this one, well, we don't know what that's going to be, so we break the lectern, check that he's lost his trade because his outfit will change, then you can replace it, and check again. Looting 3, good, I will trade with that guy and lock that in place. And of course, if you make a mistake later on and break too many lecterns, then you can just release them, and if they have locked onto a different lectern, then they will just sort themselves out. Now, if they're not doing anything, they're just walking around talking, that means that it's not the time of day that they are looking for workstations. So all you do is wait for a while. But once you've done all your trading with these guys and locked them all in to what you want, then you can close these gates and breed up some more. It's seriously as simple as that, guys. And if you ever want to get rid of one of these guys, you don't want to kill them manually because you'll get worse trades and iron golems will go after you, then you can just drop them to their deaths. Put some lava or something down there. They won't want to walk in there by themselves, but you can just come in here, crouch to get under that half slab, and say, excuse me, which one were you? I've got an open trapdoor somewhere. You? No, don't want you. So you want to build your trading hall in an area where there are no other villager workstations nearby. And I actually like the idea of building it out in the middle of an ocean, because then you don't have to worry about pillager raids either. So what I want you to do to begin with is build a big rectangle that is 9 blocks by 26. And then we're going to change block types just so it's a bit easier to see where things go when we're building later. On each side of that, I want you to come out another 3 blocks and then another 2 in a different material, just like you see here. And once you've done that, guys, pick which end is going to be your entrance. This is mine, and on every other side, I want you to build a 3-high wall, making sure to start it 1 block out to the side, so we've still got our full platform here on the ground. And I haven't got it in this design, but if you're building this above ground, once you're done, you'll need to put a ceiling on top to protect the villagers from lightning. So now we're going to build the holding pen for our farmers. So come right up the back here, and I want you to place 3 fence gates right there and 3 right here. Then you can build up 3 blocks and then right across to the wall like so, and we'll do that on this side as well. Then grab some walls. I'm using andesite, but you could use cobblestone as well. You could use any of the different types. And we're just going to build a wall along the top and the bottom like so. Once you've done that, you can grab your 5 composters and place them right here. Next, we're going to put in a spot for our beds just up the back here. And we'll need a way in because as we want to breed more villagers, we'll have to add more beds. But remember, it's good to add them bit by bit because we don't want the breeding of villagers to get out of control. So we can break a little hole in the wall there, and then place 2 blocks there to stand on. Throw in an iron door with a button on each side. Not a wooden door, otherwise the villagers will come in here. Now build across another 10 blocks, 2, 3, 4, I think that is 10, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to put 9 blocks along here. Now you want to leave this gap, you want to leave a 2-block gap between your beds and the villagers, because if you've only got a 1-block wide wall there, then they will do some David Copperfield stuff and manage to get to the beds. So make sure you've got 2 blocks of gap there, and then we're going to place 9 beds along here, and as we want to add more, you can just add more beds to the tops of those. So next we're going to build a little doorway for us to get in and out of there, just in case we need to go up the back for any reason at all. So this will be the same on each side here. I want you to build 3 blocks up there, and then 3 blocks up here with a block across the top. You can place a fence gate there with a slab up the top there. That just means the fence gate will stop any baby villagers getting out, just in case a baby villager gets into this back area, which we don't really want. And the slab here stops the adults from getting out as we're passing through, so we can crouch and get under there. So do the exact same thing just over here. Now once again, this will be the same on both sides. Come next to this pillar right here, and we're going to build 4 block tall pillars, leaving a 1 block gap between them. We're going to keep doing this till we get right to the end. So once you've got your pillars in place, you can also add an extra block to the top of these pillars where our little fence gate is. And then up the front, we can seal this off right here with 9 blocks like so, and do that on both sides. Okay, next thing to do is right in the middle of each of these 4 block pillars, I want you to place a regular piston facing straight down with a redstone lamp against the front and a lever right there. So just go ahead and do that between all of our pillars. And once you've done that, go ahead and knock out the block on the floor between the 2 pillars and replace it with a wooden trapdoor. And that way we can drop our villagers if we ever want to kill them. So you can either give each of them their own little lava pit, or just send them all into a water stream that sends them into lava. Then once you've done that, just grab some half slabs and just run a long line of them along here directly below our redstone lamps until we get all the way to the end, and then you can do the same on this side as well. Then against the half slabs, you can just place a bunch of signs so they're ready to go when you want to write down what a particular villager is trading. You can just break the sign, place it back, and write down the trades. Once you've done that, grab some wooden trapdoors, and we're going to place them against the bottom of that slab. And this stops the adult villagers from escaping at the front. But when you place them sideways, and that way if you ever do want to bring one out the front to transport them off to another location, you can just open them up and let them walk out. And then just grab a piece of dirt or any other junk block you've got and place it in front of our trapdoors like so. This will stop any baby villagers from escaping, but remember, ideally you do not want baby villagers in here, because they will, when you've got these cells locked with a villager in there, the baby villagers love to jump in there with them and then grow up and cause all kinds of problems. But also another reason we place these dirt blocks here is just to remind us that we never want to have more workstations than we have villagers. So don't just go make a bunch of lecterns and place them all down here, because then when you're trying to break and replace a lectern to get him to reset his trade, he's just going to link up with one in another location, and then you've got to constantly be letting them go to pathfind to their new workstation. Then come around to our little villager walkways here, and behind each of these trapdoors, place down a flower pot, and then build up a 3-block wall on each side of the flower pot, just so a second villager can't nudge his way in there, because they do that sometimes. But once you've got that extra wall up, you are good. So do that on both sides. And guess what, guys? You are 100% complete. The trading hall is finished. So all you need to do now is just make sure it's lit up properly so we don't get zombies spawn in here, and make sure you've got a nice high ceiling so lightning can't strike our villagers. And you can just bring in your first 5 villagers. They will switch into farmers, and you are ready to start breeding. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember to leave a like if this video helps you out, and subscribe for more tutorials. I think this is a super duper easy and cool villager trading hall for 1.14. But it's not only good for early game, I think it's good for late game as well. Because if you make a mistake, you can always get your villagers to find their way back to their workstations. So once again, guys, leave a like if this video helped you out. Cheers, I'm Cortezerino. I will see you later.